Whoops.
I don't think you can cabbage patch to this.
Fill in time for the live buffer. Letting it go while we get the show off the ground.
That energy. Can you feel it?
Get pumped up. Gonna be a great show. Oh yeah.
Oh, let me give him coffee then.
Get a little more
Awesome.
caffeine. Today's episode brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper and a football man. Man with a football. Apparently this is the Dr. Pepper. See, he's got his name on his jersey and everything. Alright, I think we've let the live stream buffer a little bit. Hey everyone, and welcome to Prop Live here on Thursday, the day that we do the show on a little early today so we could accommodate the schedule of our wonderful guests. My name, of course, is Bill Durant. I run this little thing called Punish Props, and here is the live show that we do every week tackling your prop and costume making questions. We have an awesome guest, repeat guest, my friends Alan and Annabelle from Alan Amos Creations. Boop! And I will put a little thing up. Hooray! Oh, that's not it.
Yes, I feel like I'm on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, this basically is the Tonight Show of prop and costume making. That's what I should bill it like that.
You should.
That's what it is. Let me see here. All right, so here we go. Here's Alan's page on Facebook. Just look up Alan Amos Creations on Facebook, and you'll see all the really cool stuff, especially these helmets here, which I have one waiting to get finished when I get a little bit of free time, one of these Inquisition helmets. Yeah, so people go check out the webpage. You getting kind of stoked for Inquisition, you guys?
I am counting down every day.
She is. I'm not going to see her for a while because she will be playing the game.
I'm going to blockade the room and just be there for like 3 days straight.
And I'll be in the shop casting up our brand new Cullen helmet that'll be coming out.
Is that another helmet from Inquisition?
Yep, that's the character in the game. He's got this badass like lion helmet with a mane sticking out. It's pretty cool.
That does sound pretty rad. I'll tell you what I've been playing that I want to make everything from. That's Destiny. I know. I've seen Annabelle in there a couple times.
That tiny little game, yeah.
I finally got level 20. I'm excited.
Yay! You're a real boy now.
I am. I usually play like at 1:30 at night on Sundays with a friend of mine from Australia.
Oh, cool. Cool. So what other projects you guys been working on recently?
I have a little project called Women vs. Cosplay Gaming Calendar. Yay! So that's been taking up my month.
Let me grab that so that people can check it out. Yeah. And we're gonna go do this and that. All right. So if you guys go to Kickstarter and look up Women vs. Cosplay, the 2015 gaming calendar project, which is super close from hitting the goal, which is gonna be fantastic.
I'm really excited.
And yeah, so folks should go check that out. Annabelle did a couple of other ones, the Men vs. Cosplay ones. I was in it. That's why Harrison only ever refers to me as Mr. January now.
Are you on as well?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, if everyone go check that out, and I'm sure that just with the people we have watching now, we can go push it over its goal and make that thing happen, because it's going to be awesome. I know that I backed it. Actually, I'm going to double. Yes, I totally backed it. I'm going to get myself a calendar once the one I have on the wall over here with, let's see, who do we have? Raul us as Scorpion. Once that one runs out, I'm going to put this new one up, probably next to the next Men versus Calendar one, Heroes and Villains one. So cool. Everyone go back that project. Alan, what have you been working on?
Just casting up products and trying to figure out electronics, which is slowly destroying me.
Yeah, I've been avoiding diving into that world for a while, just because I'm not good at it. It's hard to motivate yourself to get good at something that you are totally crap at, you know?
Yeah.
You've gotten some good advice though, so it's been picking up for like
Yeah.
the Hit Boys.
It's been getting better, and I'm testing all new materials on helmets and learning how to do gel coat fiberglass helmets. So
Ooh.
now that I have a regular job, I can afford to drop the money to test all these different new resins.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
play with different things.
Well, I picked up some of that Eurofill stuff for doing slush casting. I haven't played with it yet, but I'm gonna try that out here pretty soon. That's one of the things that Alan told me all about when I visited those guys. So I'm looking forward to trying out playing with new stuff. It's a good time.
I like it. I feel like a math scientist because I'm mixing everything.
Awesome. All right, I have one thing to talk about before we get going, so I'm gonna jump on this real quick. So a couple weeks ago, I started this Patreon thing at patreon.com/punishedprops. Let me do the thing. Boop. There it is. And it's a way for people who are watching the show, if they want to, they don't have to because the show will always be free, but if they want to, they can chuck some money at the show to help improve it. And we already hit our first goal, which was $50 per episode, and you guys came through like crazy. I haven't even posted about this on Twitter or Facebook at all. The only place I've talked about it is on the show, which means the people that watch the show, you guys who are the diehards who are coming in every week, you guys ponied up and helped make the show better, which is awesome because now I can afford to take the time to build out the show notes for every single episode with links to all the products and stuff that we talk about, and it's just going to make the show better all around. So thank you guys so much for contributing. Again, if you feel like the show's worth it and you want to help out, then patreon.com/punishedprops, and you can help spread the love. So that's awesome. The next goal will be to take the audio feed from each episode and turn it into a podcast, which is really cool because then people can consume it on their mobile devices when they're out and about. I can put it in iTunes and get it out to more people, and I'm looking forward to that as well. And then the last thing to say about this, I didn't realize that with Patreon, you have to like post content and then post it as like a paid thing to get paid per episode. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to do that this week and actually get paid. So hooray! You guys did contribute. You got a couple freebies. Going forward, I figured out how the system works, so we're good to go.
You're like, where's my money?
Yeah, I know.
Getting paid.
All right, cool. Let's. I'll talk more about that at the end of the show. And now, you guys ready to tackle some super rad questions?
Absolutely.
All right, this one. We got some questions from earlier today. This one's from Facebook. This is a fun one. What props or masks or costumes would you like to make from a game or a show that you currently haven't seen yet? So something you haven't played or gone to see yet. What's coming forward? What is looking good to you? Like, I'll throw something out there. New trailer out for Age of Ultron.
I played the Metro already, so it's definitely
stuff you haven't seen out there yet. Is it stuff
stuff we haven't seen out
stuff
done?
you haven't seen yet, yeah.
Oh, I want to do Artyom from Metro 2033 in Last Light.
What's the character's name?
Artyom. It's
Artyom? I'll figure it out. That sounds pretty cool. I haven't played that game. What kind of game is it? Did I lose you guys? Oh no! Your internet is
from
a little
book series and then got
Artyom, A-R-T-Y-O-M. I got it. A-R-T-Y. I lost it. O-M. Artyom. There we go. I want to look at this character. I'm totally unfamiliar with the series, so we're gonna find out.
Oh, I love it. I want to get the books now because of the video game.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. Have you guys seen any of the stuff about the Order 1886?
Yeah, the trailer looks freaking sweet.
Haven't even
PlayStation 4 exclusive, I think. But it's basically the Knights of the Round Table I'm in a demon world, and they've got this freaking industrial steampunk armor.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I want to make something from it now.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like a lightning gun. Awesome. Well, that's always cool. There's never a shortage of really cool things that I want to make. Here's another quick one from Jay Cosplay. He says, Bill, did you get that Proxxon pen sander, and would you recommend it? I did. Proxxon makes this little sander. It's like a Dremel. They make a Dremel one that's really small, but this one's a sander that just moves side to side, and you can get different sanding heads for it. You also have to get a little transformer from it because it runs on 12 volt. You gotta or something. Anyway, I got all that stuff. I haven't had a chance to play with it very much, but it's a small sander for working on models, and it's pretty cool. It's not terribly expensive either. You do have to get the transformer, like I said, but it's not like hundreds of dollars. It's pretty good.
I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look it up.
Proxxon, Proxxon pen sander. And like I said before, guys, I'll have show notes to all of links and stuff to all of these goodies in the show notes. All right, let's grab one here from the chat room. Michael wants to know, any tips or tricks for cutting really sharp angles on thin craft foam with a scroll saw? I know you mentioned a 360-degree cutting blade for your scroll saw. I wanted to see how it was working for you. I think when Michael says really sharp angles, I mean he means like really tight corners, right? Alan, have you ever used a spiral blade for your scroll saw?
No, I've used just the regular, really, really tiny, just straight blades.
Yeah, me too. I've keep mentioning spiral blades, but I have never actually bought one before.
Yeah, I've seen them, but it just never came to mind to pick one up and try it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm gonna make a point to order some this week and try it out. 'Cause it's not like they're super expensive or anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came in handy on a lot of stuff I've done, but yeah, probably should look into it.
Yeah, if you're cutting really thin craft foam and you have really sharp angles to cut, you may want to go into it just using an X-Acto knife. That might be the best way to do it. Or just get a really small blade, really thin blade for your scroll saw, and be very, very careful when you're cutting it. Because unlike wood, you can make it float a little bit with the foam. You can kind of jimmy it a little bit. I've done that before, where you just sort of like I can't think of how to explain it, but instead of cutting along with the blade, you just kind of shift it as you're cutting, and it just kind of cuts with the side of the blade.
Yeah, I've done that before a lot.
Yeah, with foam, you have a lot more flexibility when you're using that.
I've done that with styrene and Sintra before too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that because it kind of melts when you're cutting it. All right, cool. Here we go. Let's grab this one from Logan. Logan wants to know, how did your wife texture the Draugr? So full disclosure, my wife and I both worked on those. She did most of the helmet work. I did the most of the armor, and but we both did a lot of dremeling to get that hammered metal look. And we used a 911 aluminum oxide grinding stone for the Dremel to do it. It's like a spherical bit. So you mash it in, you get like kind of a roundish indent in your foam or in the helmet. So that's how we did it. You can't really. What was that?
I think that's how everybody's done it on their helmets to get that look that you're talking about. I haven't seen anybody do it differently aside from sculpting it with clay.
Yeah, you could sculpt it, and then while the clay is still pliable, actually hammer it or gently hammer it with a hammer. That would do it. But for most of our stuff, we waited for like the clay and stuff to cure. We did a bunch of epoxy sculpt on it, and then we just went in and grinded it. That seemed to do the trick. Okay. Boop. Let's grab another one here. This is from Jeff, can you describe your typical LED lighting setup and what the best way to diffuse the LED light strip would be? So you said you've been doing some LED stuff with your Pip-Boys. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I've been learning how to. Well, I picked up some of the stuff that you recommended, but interesting enough, I found it on Amazon for like half the price.
What did you find?
It's LED strip lighting, and it's surface-mounted strips that you can cut into different sections. And there are 3 LED sections. They have their own little resistor and built into it, so you can operate just like 3 LEDs off one 9-volt battery, and it won't blow the LEDs or anything. But I've been trying to learn how to diffuse. I'm still trying to figure out how to diffuse light properly, especially on my Pip-Boys. I've done it on an N7 helmet, but I've done it with clear acrylic sheets. They're about a 1/4 inch, and I sanded them down to try to diffuse the light as best, and I'll put the LED on the end of it, if that makes any sense. So if you've got like the strip right here, I'll put it like on the end so it shines straight into it.
Yeah, you're basically edge lighting it. I've done a similar thing too. I will actually go and get. I'll get white opaque acrylic that you would think would stop all the light, but it's not. It lets in just enough of the light and it diffuses it so that you don't get those spots, those bright spots that you get from LEDs. That's usually what I like to do.
Helmet you did?
Yeah, that robot helmet. The eyes on that were 1/2 inch thick white acrylic. And I tried to get the LEDs as far away from that surface as possible. The closer it is to the acrylic surface, the hotter that spot is going to be, and the less diffused it's going to be. So that's how I did it. There you go. Oh, and also for wiring, if I have to wire single LEDs, I just get 3-volt batteries and a switch, because then I don't have to do any math.
Yeah, I usually pick up the, during Christmas time and Halloween, they'll have battery-powered Christmas lights. They're bright. Now they come in the multicolors or blues or white, so I'll usually pick those up if I need to do like little spots here and there on either a helmet or a gun.
They're cheap after the holidays.
Yeah, they're like $4 for an entire string, and it comes with the battery, the switch, and everything. And I usually those like big lots for, you can even find them at Walmart.
Cool. Yeah, whenever it comes to electronics, if I can find something that's self-contained, I'll get that over getting something I have to put together myself. All right. This question comes from John. He wants to know, do either of you have plans to go to Winter Fan Fest in Phoenix? You guys going to that?
We have a table.
Yep. We will be there with a table and all our goodies, and hopefully some more couple things I have on my bench.
You're welcome,
Awesome.
Bill.
Yeah, come on over.
Is Phoenix bearable in December?
Yes.
It's so nice.
It's like
so
60
nice.
during the daytime instead of 115.
Oh wow. We will see. Probably not. I might have to visit my family during the winter. I don't know. All right, another question from John. Any advice for building a white 18-inch diameter circular platform, a couple inches tall that people can stand on? Lightweight is a plus.
I only know how to do heavy duty.
I would probably do it from insulation foam, rigid insulation foam, and then put like a piece of plywood on the top of it so that your feet don't dent it. That's probably the simplest way to do it.
I only know how to do hardcore that will never move.
Yeah, just pour a slab of concrete. Yeah, play with some insulation and foam. It's a cheap way to do it. It's not going to be super pretty unless you put a lot of work into it, but that's what I would go with. All right, here we go. This is a totally unrelated question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. The Lego dude says, I'm going to try and make some French fries tonight. Any tips? You guys have any know-how to French fries?
Sweet potato fries. Go for Trader Joe's sweet potato fries. Put them in the oven.
That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a double fry before. What you do is you cook the fries for a longer period of time in a cooler oil, and then you bring them out and you drain them, and then you put them back in really hot, and that gets them all crispy. Pretty good.
Oh, nice.
So if you're gonna do it totally from, look it up on YouTube. There's a video about twice fried fries or something like that. Look that up. It's really good. What happens is the fries get all cooked all the way through in the first cook, and there's a lot more surface area, and then when you put them back in, all that surface area gets fried, and it's delicious. All right, I'm glad we were able to help out the Lego Man.
You can finally sleep.
Yes.
Kevin, I know Kevin. Kevin says, any general advice for attending a convention as a guest? I'm assuming he means if you're invited there as a guest.
Oh, okay.
Be as approachable as humanly possible.
Promote the crap out of that con on all your social media sites. I mean, if they invited you down there, it's the least you can do to help promote the event you'll be at and let your fans know.
Yeah, definitely.
And then tweet and like Instagram it like every minute you can to show them, hey, I'm over here. Hey, look at these cool people.
Yeah. I was just at Tree City Comic Con in Idaho, in Boise, Idaho, and I decided like they didn't have, it's a new convention and they only had one panel for me. I ended up being on 2 panels. Be willing to do as much as you can to help the convention while you're there. You want to be the kind of guest that they want to have back. And then if they don't have a ton of stuff for you to do, then decide that you, like I decided I'm going to be the cosplay guy. I had a repair station at my booth, and I'm going to talk to every single cosplayer. And I'm going to take pictures of them. I'm going to tweet at them. I'm going to tweet at the convention and just be really, really engaging. Because if you're the kind of person that the convention sees as bringing value to the show, then they're going to want to have you back.
Exactly.
That's so true.
Yep. And
judges by Cube, we went out of the way to help. So that's like for sure we're inviting them next year. Just being that willing to help and help attendees have a really good goes a long way.
Yep, and don't do what that dude from Buffy did in the hotel.
From the what?
The guy who played Xander got arrested for like.
Oh, that's right.
When that happened, I was in my hotel room down the hall, stuffing my face with pizza. I missed it.
Too drunk if you're a cosplay guest.
Yeah.
Yep. Stuff your face with pizza. Take advantage of all the pizza that they have. Okay, this one's from No One's Designs. I know that guy.
Hey! Garrick and Jackie.
Yay. Let's see. When building a prop or costume, do you prefer high detailed reference images, or the challenge of creating as close to a perfect replica as possible, or do you like more traditional concept art and the freedom to imprint on the final piece? What do you guys think?
I have been liking concept designs a lot lately, and because it's taking an already established property and just throwing extra stuff into it, or doing the whole cross. I'm brain farting here.
You mean like a mashup?
Yeah, a mashup. There you go.
There you go.
A lot of people do mashups of something, and it just flows so well. I mean, beforehand I was into the whole high detail. I want all the reference photos I possibly can. I'll watch 30 seconds of something for 30 hours and then try to get that one little inch detail correctly, which I've done before. But it's nice to go with the concept because it's kind of easier and less stressful.
I mean, sometimes it also adds flexibility. Like when we made the Dragon Age helmet, there wasn't much material. There were some screenshots, there was some concept art. We were able to take the ones that would work the best in reality and still make it look like enough of the kind of a mashup of the screenshot and the concept art, but in a way that was still comfortable for our customers, but still looked like the item from the game. So that helped us out too, not being so obsessed with having to stay so true to exactly one source, because sometimes that true to source, especially for video games, won't work in reality.
There you go. Cool. I'll tell you what, if I have a client, though, and they come to me and they want something from a video game, then I'm making a replica. I'm making as close to that art as I can. And if that's the case, then I try and get, like, 3D models that I can rip images from to get it as exact as possible. But I do like having artistic freedom. I want to do more stuff like that going forward, for sure. Okay. Thank you, No One's Designs. Get this one from Malcolm. Let's see. Lots of stuff you use isn't so easy to get in the UK, meaning materials and stuff. Looking at you, Barge. Do you have any UK-based friends I can follow and tap for information, info on alternatives, etc.? I do. I was just talking to a buddy of mine today. Let me go find his thing. Do you guys have any pals across the pond?
And the last calendar project I did, Valentine cosplays out of the UK, so he might be a resource.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's really fun.
I was just talking to my buddy at Sorenzo Props. Really, really nice guy. He just did this guy right here, this Daft Punk helmet. He had it chromed. Yeah, the chrome went bad on it, and it was all bubbled. So he sanded it down and made it look all rusty and stuff, and it looks awesome. It looks so really, really cool. So go check out Sorenzo Props, Sorenzo Props on Facebook there. He's in the UK, and he's a super cool guy.
Oh, you can also check out Fourth Wall Designs. They're over in the UK, and they do a lot of props and costumes and working stuff from their shop. They
Here we go.
A lot of superhero stuff.
Yeah, Fourth Wall Design. I see some cool stuff here. So they're also on Facebook. Go look them up for sure. What was the first one you mentioned? Valentine? Oh,
Not ready.
You said Valentine cosplay or something like that? What was the first one? Okay. Oh, yep, they're in the UK. Here we go. Valentine cosplay, also on Facebook, also in the UK. So go. They have a briefcase full of money, or no? So it's soap. It's not money. But that's a fun idea for a Fight Club costume, I guess. There we go. All right, so there you go. There are some UK-based people for you to enjoy. Awesome. All right, let's grab some more here. We've got one from Mark. How would I go about making templates for EVA armor? I've noticed some people will Pepakura models and trace them. What do you think is the best way? Have you done any foam armor lately, Alan?
Well, I have, but I totally screwed it up. But what I've seen other people do, since I haunt everybody's builds religiously, I've seen people they'll take the Pepakura file, they'll throw out all the edges. Since on Pepakura they'll have all glue on out, and then just print out the rest, and that gives you all your pieces you're going to need without having to worry about the edging. Since the EVA foams you can get in.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the thickness. Yeah.
So that's what I've seen a lot of people do, and then they'll do test to see how it goes back together when they start gluing together, and if they don't like it, then since you can heat form and EVA over forms to get that whole round shape, they'll sometimes just throw it out and make their own little template based off of the Pepakura one.
There you go. A lot of times too, yeah, your Pepakura, if you find a Pepakura file for something, you can use that as a good jumping off point to start doing your own templates on. What I like to do is I have a torso casting of myself. It's a plaster casting of my torso, and I'll draw templates right on there and translate them onto paper. Generally, you have to make them a little bit bigger, though. So, for example, my shopmate Will made a ruler out of a piece of EVA foam and uses that to take measurements on body parts so that the thickness is accounted for when you're taking measurements. So that's pretty clever. That's why I keep him around.
Yeah, and taking advantage of that and oversizing. I've done leather holsters for prop guns, and yeah, you have to do the same thing. You've got to go a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch beyond your pattern to make up for that thickness.
All right, this one here is coming from Nick. Nick says, I'm planning on constructing a helmet for future cosplay. What would be a good way to create a head mold, or do you have any ideas as to what to use? Have you guys ever made a head mold?
No, usually for helmets, I start with a hard hat.
Ooh, that's a really good idea.
All my helmets that I've made, like the Inquisitor helmet, the Skyrim helmet, and a couple other helmets I've done, except for my NCR helmet, have all been based off a hard hat.
So you would take a helmet that already fits on you, and then you just sculpt right on top of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've even seen, since I'm part of the Mandalorian Mercs costuming group, I've seen people even take baseball helmets, biker helmets, and use that as a base to start with.
That's a fantastic idea. I will say, though, if you do want to get a head mold made, I put up a video a while ago where we made a plaster casting of Will's head using alginate. It's a one-time mold. It's kind of a challenge. It took us 2 tries to do it, but it's cheaper than using silicone. You can use Smooth On makes something called Body Double. It's a silicone for making head molds. That's really good too. A little bit more expensive, but don't think that making a casting of your head is outside of the realm of possibility. It's not. And it's really handy to have. And as soon as I can get it done, I'm gonna have my twin brother sit down in the seat, and I'm gonna plaster his face off, and make a copy of his face. So I'll put a link to the video in the show notes, or the video that I did of us casting Will's face. It's great. Lots of poop jokes. So look forward to that.
Yeah, make sure if you do a full head mold, make sure you have an exit strategy. I just remembered I did one on a buddy of mine years ago, and me and his father and a friend of ours, we plastered his whole head, then forgot to actually make a way to get his head out.
Yeah. Have a lot of friends you trust around, too. It's like a 4 or 5 person job.
That's why you record it, too.
Yeah.
That's why I recorded it. I was waiting for something to go wrong. YouTube gold. Okay, this question comes from Darcy. Let's see. Prop making involves many skills, tools, maintenance, design, templating, measuring, cutting, gluing, painting, display. The list goes on. What is the most important skill, besides safety, to master first? What exercises do you recommend for the development of that skill? Whoa, the phone's going crazy. I think, well, being good at acquiring new skills is a skill in itself. So you could totally, by practicing a lot of different stuff, you will sort of increase how well you absorb new information. I can't remember. I saw a video somewhere that was all about like 20 hours to get good at something. I'm going to look that up while Alan tells me what skill he thinks is important.
Pre-planning. I don't know. I'm guessing.
We blipped out for a second, so we were trying to figure out what you said, and we were like, we were talking on top of it. What just happened? Basically, pre-planning. If there's an item you want to do, don't just dive into it. See if somebody's done it before. See what resources are out there. It's worth taking even a week of research instead of a week of stress and frustration and lost materials when you could have learned some tips and tricks from people who already did it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if that's a skill set or not, but
it's patience. It's with patience and planning.
Yeah, that sounds good. I've got this video here. I'll put a link in the show notes, but it's the first 20 hours. It was a TED Talk that I saw, how to learn anything, and it's one of those things where people say you need to do something for 10,000 hours to become a master at it, but like the first 20 hours, you make such a drastic leap in your skill level. No matter what it is, you're learning how to play guitar or model a helmet or whatever. So anyway, I'll put a link to that show or to that video, or otherwise we just sit here and watch it. But we're not going to do that. Other than that, Darcy, I think that whatever tool you have on hand already, whatever you already own, just get good at using that. For me, it was my scroll saw. I just used that all the time. I got really good at that. So there you go. Okay. Boop-a-doo. And let's see, another question. Here we go. This one's from Kate. Question is, I was wondering what would be the best way to make a death mask from Darksiders 2? Would it be easier to make it out of foam or make a mold for it?
It's our Kate. We know Kate.
Oh, you know Kate. Well, tell Kate how you would make that helmet.
Me personally, I would probably clay.
I mean, it's not an overly detailed mask. It's a front-facing kind of skull mask that's simplified if you guys haven't seen it yet. I think clay would be a pretty good place to work from, even a simple Epicura base off of something else and clay on top of it.
Yeah. It's like a skull mask with a lot less of the detail. Let me see if I can bring up an image for everyone here. Kind of looks like Casey Jones.
Yep.
Yep. Also
Here we
looks
go.
like one of the guitar players from Slipknot.
There you go. So that's the mask right there. You could sculpt and cast it, like Alan said. I would say if you're looking for the easiest method, if you're good at sculpting, that would be the easiest method. It's not the cheapest. You're going to have to make a mold. You could totally make that out of foam, though. Of course, I am the foam prophet. I'm like, foam, everyone, foam. So, but you could definitely make that out of foam, I think. Yeah, I would say give that a try first. Just if you have some floor mats sitting around, cut that up. You could sculpt it with your Dremel. Yeah. And if it sucks, then go sculpt it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I might try something like that on foam one day.
Yeah, I saw someone do a full-on Groot face mask out of EVA foam, and by the time you were done, you wouldn't even know that it was floor mats. It looked great.
England Hoffman's build was crazy.
Yeah, that's the one. So cool. So there you go, Kate. Foam. But like a year from now, when I do this live show, every answer is going to be just foam. Just make it out of foam. All right, this question here is from Rev Chumley. Have you seen this glorious thing? Dipyourcar.com. Yes. Yes, I have. If you're looking for the vast array of Plastidip on the planet, Dip Your Car is the place to go. There's so many cool Plastidips out there.
So much. And apparently Pip-Boys is carrying more of a selection.
Yeah, someone posted about that today, and I was like, where's the nearest Pip-Boys? I want to try out the, here's dipyourcar.com. I want to try out the metallic Plastidips that they have out there, because I've heard it's really cool. If you have armor that you made out of foam and you want it to look like metal, instead of doing sealing it and then base coating it, you could get a metallic Plastidip and just spray that on there. Word of warning: this color metallizer stuff right here, that's glitter. By the way, it's Plastidip and it's glitter. Will bought some and he sprayed it on the thing and he's like, it's just glitter. But you can, if you want to base coat your sword or armor with a metal thing, and you've done it in foam, you could both seal it and base coat it with a colored metallic Plastidip. And dipyourcar.com is a place to get it, and apparently so is Pip-Boys. Dipyourcar.com. Doop, doop, doop. What's going on? There we go. All right. More questions. This one is from Malcolm. Malcolm has finished a Pepakura build and made of Dr. Doom's head. He just bought a boatload of epoxy resin from a boat shop, and I will apply when I get back from the holidays. It isn't perfect, but what should I use to balance out some of the inconsistencies? I'm gonna go Bondo. That's what I like to use.
Yeah,
Do you have
Bondo,
a favorite filler?
Or well, Bondo is going to be the easiest because it dries. It sets super quickly. I just started using two-part epoxy, freeform. Was it free from Smooth On? It's more of an epoxy. I'm
Are you blanking?
blanking here.
Oh, the epoxy clay, the freeform sculpt.
Yeah, freeform sculpt. I just started using that, and even though it takes overnight for it to set, it's super strong the next day, and you can sand it, carve it, whatever. But yeah, to get a quicker work time, definitely Bondo.
Yeah, I actually just got my hands on some of that freeform sculpt, and it's pretty cool. Compared to, it's very similar to epoxy sculpt. I like how dry it is when it cures. Because I've used stuff like that before, where when you sand it, it gums up the sandpaper right away. The
Right.
freeform sculpt cures really, really nice. So
It's not
Bondo for quick. If you want something really nice that you can sculpt a little bit more, that has a longer curing time, go with something like freeform sculpt. That's on Smooth On's website. Boop. Thank you, Malcolm, for your question. Here is one from Rob. Rob is a frequent questioner. What is the maximum grit I should sand the primer of the original model in order to ensure a photorealistic metallicness of either, cold cast or resin paint job? Would I put another coat of primer over that? Would I buff the final primer coat as well? What do you think, Alan? What do you like to do when you're what do you like to do? You have a consistent sort of grit level you like to take your things down to before you mold them?
I usually will start with, if I'm starting to get the fine, really, really fine, I'll go up to wet sanding it with 400 grit, and then from there I will probably switch to, depending upon the area, usually quadruple aught steel wool, and then wet sand it some more, even go up to even 1,000 grit on the wet sanding.
That's way more than I usually do. I will generally take it to like 400 and then buff it. What it really depends on is what you're trying to get out of your final your finish. So I've actually taken stuff before molding it, and I'd take a piece of sandpaper and scrape it across the surface so that it's got like brushed metal lines in it, and then I will cold cast that, and the finish looks like brushed metal, which is really cool. So it depends on the finish that you want. If you're crazy, you could be like Harrison and take his Daft Punk helmets and wet sand it down to like 1,200, and then there's this stuff that you can get that's like a series of compounds that takes it all the way to like 3,000 or something. It's like 3 different compounds. You rub it on and buff it off. There's something called a swirl remover, because when you're buffing a thing, it puts swirls in it, and then you have to get rid of the swirls. So, depending on the finish you want, you can go crazy. But I usually don't. There we go. All right. There is someone who joined the chat randomly. I'm going to delete that. Let's see here. All right, another question. This one's from Jeff. I finished my helmet made from foam. It's just how I want it. Now, can I recreate it somehow in resin? Do you do that commission work? Alan, have you ever tried to mold something made of foam before?
Not yet. I've actually had that question asked to me, and I guess it depends on how stable the foam helmet is to take on the weight of the silicone and also the mother mold as well.
Yeah.
Usually you're going to have to brace the heck out of it to make sure that if it's like an open face or like your Draugr helmets where it's got the mouth and face open, I think the weight of the silicone alone would deform that. So you would have to set it up to where it's going to withstand, a good pound of material on top of it. But it can be done.
Yeah, you could do it. A couple of things. One, the reason why I like using foam is that it is so really, really fast. But if I'm going to mold something, I would prefer to make it from a more rigid material or sculpt it out of clay because I have a lot more control over the final texture of the piece, and I can sand edges really nicely. I can fill stuff with rigid material like Bondo. So if I'm going to put in the time to make a mold, generally I'll put in the extra time to make the master out of something nice and rigid. The other thing is, with foam, you may, and I've never tried this before, but I'm willing to bet that the texture on the cut end of your foam, if you don't seal it really well, I bet that the silicone is just going to grab onto that. And you may have some trouble getting the silicone apart from the master. That's just a hunch, though. But you could totally do it. You could totally give it a try. But tell you what, Jeff, if you give it a try, you let me know. I want to know how it turns out.
Yeah, it might be a pretty expensive experiment, too.
It might be. Do it with something small. Don't take your full helmet and cover it in silicone. And as far as doing that as commission work, I mean, in the past, I've done more rigid things where I'll make a mold of it and sell casts out of that. That's generally how I do it. That's how Alan does his Pip-Boys and his Inquisition helmets and all that.
Yeah, right. Molding something is time-consuming, so it's, I don't know. It usually takes it can even take up to 3 days to mold something and get everything properly. So that's a lot of time invested. So having someone commissioned to do that, I mean, just the materials alone start at about $300. So.
Yeah. Tell you what, there are people out there who are professional mold makers. That's all they do all the time. They're really, really good at what they do, and they charge an awful lot of money for what they do. But if you aren't good at mold making, you can totally do that, and you got disposable income. Woo! All right, Rob followed up with his question about sanding. He says, crazy is good. He already ordered up to 3,000 grit paper. I'm pretty sure that that's less texture than my business card. You just rub paper on it. He's looking into the quadruple aught steel wool and buffing compounds as well. So I wonder what that buffing compound, let's say, system. It's like a system of buffing compounds. I have no idea what it's called, though. I'm going to look it up real quick, real time.
Was it something like Mother's Milk or something like that?
This is Ultra two-step buffing system, 3M rubbing compound. I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll try and throw that in the show notes. Yeah. Anyway, there are options. Let's see here. Another question. This one's from Danny. Do you have any tips for strapping a lot of weight to your head? I'm making a Leshen from The Witcher 3, and I've already made a helmet and shoulder strap, torso harness to handle stability, but wondered if you had a favorite process for this sort of thing.
I'm not even sure what that looks like, so...
I'm looking it up right now. Leshen. Images. Nope. Images... Okay, it looks like antlers. We got giant antlers on your noggin. I'll tell you what, making those antlers as light as possible is definitely going to be a factor. Here we go. So this guy right here, this guy's got a bunch of wolves and big old antlers.
Oh wow. Yeah, wow.
I would if I could, I would carve those out of insulation foam to make them really lightweight, and then you're going to have a much better go at it. And then you wouldn't necessarily have to worry too much about supporting your head. If it is too heavy, you're going to be tired of that thing on your head in about half an hour.
Yeah, watch out for doorways.
Yeah, that too. So my suggestion would be to make it as light as possible.
As light as possible, and also some sort of chin strap. And I've also seen back strapping where it wraps around the back of your head, as in to support that, and runs another strap underneath, something underneath your chin. That could help, but yeah, that's a lot.
Because if somebody grabs you, it could snap your neck.
Yeah.
Or if it gets stuck in the way.
Yeah, that's tricky. Just make it really light. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
it looks like a nightmare.
Carving it out of like that pink foam is, I don't know, I think that'd be maybe the best. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You finish, I see it.
Yeah, no doubt. That's crazy cool.
Neat. Yeah, definitely, Danny. If you finish that up, I want to see it. Looks awesome. All right, another one from Rob. Should Bondo, when used to sculpt in voids, rather than filling or smoothing, should it be added in particular thicknesses, or can I just fill in the whole area and smooth it down? I found with Bondo, what I'll end up doing is just putting a lot in there, and when it's just cured a little bit, I'll just carve away the extra with a knife. That's generally what I'll do it, so that I don't have to sand it all down later.
That's exactly what I've done before. Wait till it's like half cured, and either take, like I said, a razor blade, or sometimes I've even taken a wood rasp to help.
Yeah.
Get the general shape.
I will suggest you don't get too rambunctious with it. I've gone in and carved it back down into the void again and had to just re-Bondo it, so don't go crazy. Yeah, just put a whole ton of Bondo's cheap. Put a ton of it in there, then carve it away, and then once it fully cures, you can sand it. Hey, we've got a recommendation here. This is from Eric. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago from Core Geek. He says he thinks the compound, that rubbing compound, is called Novus. So we're going to put it to the test. Novus buffing compound. Right. Novus plastic polish. Look at that. I'm going to share this. Eric, you are a wizard. Thank you. Novus plastic polish. If you go to Novus, Novus, polish.com. There's like all these bottles, 1, 2, 3. So it's piece of cake. I know this stuff isn't really cheap, but it's wicked good. And you just say first step, use number 1, and you buff it with number 1, and then once that's done, you're like next one, number 2, and just go from there, and you get a really nice finish on your stuff.
Keep it simple. I like that.
Awesome. I gotta get my hands on some of that. I'm gonna look on Amazon right now. I love Amazon. I've been a junkie lately. Novus plastic polish on Amazon. Hey, they have it. Oh, that's not that bad. An 8-ounce kit is $12.65 on Amazon, and it's available for Prime shipping. Hooray! Cool. There you go. Everyone go check that out. Thank you again, Eric. All right, we got one more question here that we can take from the chat, and I think we'll call it good. This one's from Nick. He just wanted to let us know that C2E2 tickets went on sale today, so now's a chance to seal the deal. Oh, that's right. I promised I was going to go to C2E2 this year.
He's like,
Whoops.
All right, let's take a look at this. C2E2. Boop. All right, get your tickets right there. Get your tickets here to the best weekend of the year. There you go. They're on sale, and I'm all out of excuses, aren't I? I'm probably going to have to go this year. Well, I'm not going to purchase it on air. But there you go.
Write down his credit card number.
Yeah. But I am leaving the website open there so that I can go do that later. All right. That's it, you guys. We're going to call it good. How about that? What are you guys looking forward to? Alan and Annabelle, what do you got coming up that you're looking forward to?
Some more cons to wrap up the year, getting married, and I'm going to be heading off to Spain early next year.
Holy crap! When are you guys getting married?
We're going to wing it. We're going to kamikaze it, like, in 7 days. Yeah, in 7 days.
Oh, that's fantastic. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Again, you guys, you can go to Alan Amos Creations on Facebook to check out everything that these jokers are working on. Annabelle, you have a page too.
Yep.
Annabelle Martinez, artist. So everyone go there and like her page too, because it's rad. And other than that, thank you guys so much for being on the show. You guys are awesome. We'll have you on again sometime.
Sweet.
And thank everyone for showing up and asking your awesome questions, because your questions make content for the show. And thank you everyone too who has supported the Patreon so far and helped to make the show even more than it could ever be without you. Patreon.com/punishedprops. And that's it. All done, everyone. I got a homunculus in here. Will's wandering in. He's trying to tell me it's time to go do something. I don't know. But that's it, everyone. We're going to end the show. Thank you again for showing up.
I will.
I will.
All right. There we go.